Hi, my name is Wendy Stein, and I'm an STPPS Special Education Curriculum Specialist for grades K through 6. I'm so glad that you could join me. In this lesson, we are going to learn about text structures. So let's get started. There are 5 text structures that we will be reviewing this week: description, sequence, compare and contrast, cause and effect, and problem and solution. Description is one of the 5 text structures that we will be discussing in the lesson. Description is a topic, idea, person, place, or thing that is described by listing its features, characteristics, or examples. If you look at the picture on this screen, we see a picture of a fish. If you were to describe the fish, you will say what it smells like, feels like, tastes like, sounds like, looks like, and maybe even give some examples of fish. Some signal words to look for are, for example, for instance, specifically, in particular, and in addition. Here's an example of a description text structure. Jimmy's Pizzeria is my favorite pizza place in the city, but you wouldn't be able to tell that just by looking at the outside. It is a hidden brown brick building. It doesn't even have a sign, just the name of the restaurant in 3-inch letters on the storefront window. The inside isn't much to speak of either. There are some chrome swivel stools along a laminate countertop that makes an L shape, separating the register and the kitchen area from the dining area. Booth seating lines the eating area of the restaurant, and a few favorable reviews from local publications are framed and displayed on the walls. Yeah, the decorations of the place are a little underwhelming, but forget the scenery. I go to Jimmy's for the pizza. The next text structure is sequential order. Sequential order describes the events in order or explains the steps one must follow to do something or to make something. For this example, it shows us how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. First, you would gather the peanut butter and jelly. Next, you would slice the bread. Then you would put peanut butter and jelly on each side of the bread. Next, you would put the 2 pieces of bread together, and then finally, you would enjoy your peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Some signal words to look for would be first, second, next, last, another, then, finally, after that, and before. Here's an example of a sequencing text structure. When I got home from school after a long, boring day, I took out the peanut butter, jelly, and bread. After taking the lid off of the jars, I spread the peanut butter on one side of the bread and the jelly on the other, and then I put the 2 pieces of bread together. After that, I enjoyed it while watching Cops on TV. I swear that was the best peanut butter and jelly sandwich I ever ate. So remember, for sequencing, it describes events in order, or it shows us how to make something. In this case, it is the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Let's look at the next text structure, compare and contrast. When you compare and contrast, you are showing how 2 or more things are alike and how they are different. On this slide, we see a Venn diagram comparing and contrasting 2 animals, a lion and a tiger. The Venn diagram helps to support the text structure, compare and contrast, by showing how they are alike, which is the compare, and how they are different, which is the contrast. There are some signal words to look for when we are looking for compare and contrast. For example, you might see words comparing the two objects, such as similar to, alike, same as, not only but also, resemble, as well as, or both. For contrast, you may see some signal words such as different from, however, although, on the other hand, as opposed to, more than, less than, on the contrary. Let's look at this example for compare and contrast. All matter, all things can be changed in two ways, chemically and physically. Both chemical and physical changes affect the state of matter. Physical changes are those that do not change the makeup or identity of matter. For example, clay will bend or flatten if squeezed, but it will still be clay. Changing the shape of clay is a physical change and does not change the matter's identity. Chemical changes turn the matter into a new kind of matter with different properties. For example, when paper is burnt, it becomes ash and will never be paper again. The difference between them is that physical changes are temporary or only last for a little while, and chemical changes are permanent, which means they last forever. Physical and chemical changes both affect the state of matter. In this particular text, we're showing how two things are alike and how they are different. Chemically and physically, they are both the same. They both affect the state of matter, but there are differences between them. Let's look at the next text structure, cause and effect. Cause and effect shows the relationship between the cause, which is the event, and the effect, what happened because of that event. Look at the pictures. On the left, we see the cause, which is a thunderstorm. The thunderstorm is what happened first. The effects of the thunderstorm could be a rainbow, maybe some flooding, or maybe some beautiful flowers. Some signal words to look for would be consequently, therefore, as a result, reason why, because of, maybe due to. Let's look at an example of a cause and effect text structure. Have you ever had an ice cream headache? That's when a painful sensation resonates in your head after eating something cold, usually ice cream, on a hot day. This pain is produced by the dilation of a nerve center in the roof of your mouth. The nerve center is overreacting to the cold by trying to heat your brain. Ice cream headaches have turned many smiles into frowns. Remember that cause and effect shows the relationship between the cause, in this case eating ice cream too quickly, and the effect. What has happened because of this event? Well, if you eat ice cream too quickly, you will get an ice cream headache or a brain freeze. The last text structure is problem and solution. Problem and solution tells about a problem and then gives one or more solutions for that problem. So for example, on this slide, they show the problem is spilled milk. One solution is using paper towels to pick it up. Some signal words to look for in your text include consequently, therefore, as a result, thereby, leads to, and because of. Sometimes the text outright tells you what the problem is. Here's an example of a problem and solution text structure. Dr. Miller doesn't want the tigers to vanish. These majestic beasts are disappearing at an alarming rate. Dr. Miller thinks that we should write to our congresspeople. If we let them know that we demand the preservation of this species, maybe we can make a difference. Dr. Miller also thinks that we should donate to save the tigers. Our donations will help to support and empower those who are fighting the hardest to preserve the tigers. We owe it to our grandchildren to do something. Remember that problem and solution tells about a problem, in this case, the tigers vanishing at an alarming rate, and then gives a solution or two on how we can solve this problem. In this case, Dr. Miller says that we should donate to an organization called Save the Tigers to help preserve the tiger species. Let's practice. For this activity, you will need a sheet of paper and something to write with. Please number your paper 1 through 5. I'm going to read 5 different paragraphs to you. It is your job to determine which text structure is being used. Each text structure will only be used one time. Listen carefully for the type of text structure. Since I made honor roll every quarter this year, my mom is going to buy me a new phone for my birthday. I can't decide whether I want to get an iPhone or a Galaxy. They're both really cool phones and they cost about the same. But they're also different in a lot of ways too. Like the Galaxy has a bigger screen. The iPhone screen isn't small or anything. It's just not as big as the Galaxy's. However, the iPhone connects with my iTunes account. All of my music is already uploaded to iTunes, so all I have to do is sync my phone and then I can listen to all of my music. That'd be cool. But if I got a Galaxy, I could use Google Play to upload my old songs and buy new ones. This would give me a chance to go through my old music collection. That'd be cool too. I'm not sure which one I'm going to get, but I'm super pumped about this either way. Maybe if you make the honor roll every quarter next year, you can get a new phone too. It's worth a shot. What is the text structure of this paragraph? Write it down next to number 1 on your paper. Number 2. No one knows exactly what causes tornadoes, but some scientists believe that when warm air meets cold air, a tornado may form. The reason for this is that the warm air is lighter than the cold air, so it rises up fast and meets different winds moving different directions. Under the right conditions, this can cause a tornado. Though there is still much mystery surrounding tornadoes, many people believe that when warm, moist air meets cool, dry air, tornadoes can result. Name that text structure. Once you've written your answer down next to number 2, click the space bar to move to the next slide. Number 3. Freezer burn may have wasted more ice cream than sidewalks. If you don't know, freezer burn is when ice crystals form on the surface of ice cream. These ice cream crystals can ruin the texture and flavor of ice cream. But you can prevent freezer burn. Since freezer burn is caused when melted ice cream is refrozen, rather than eating your ice cream from the container as it melts, scoop your ice cream into a bowl and put the container back into the fridge immediately. Doing this ought to help solve your issues with freezer burn. What type of text structure is this? Remember to be referring to the top of your paper to look at the different types of text structures. Listen carefully to number 4. Pop out the egg yolk to a small bowl and mash with a fork. Add mayonnaise, mustard powder, vinegar, salt and pepper, and mix thoroughly. Fill the empty egg white shell with the mixture and sprinkle lightly with paprika. Cover lightly with plastic wrap and refrigerate for up to 1 day before serving. Name that text structure. Number 5. If you ask me, the perfect pizza has a thin crust, but not too thin. Even though I'm from Chicago, I prefer a New York style crust. Your perfect pizza might have tomato sauce on it, but mine has pesto on top. On the pesto, I like to see lots of cheese, a full layer of shredded mozzarella and Romano cheese, and on top of the shredded mozzarella, I'd like to see some slices of fresh mozzarella. Now you might think I'm crazy for this one, but I'd really like to see some goat cheese in the crust. To top it all off, I'd like to see it polka dotted with pepperoni slices. Now that's what I call a pizza pie. Name that text structure. So how'd you do? Did you get them all right? Maybe just missed one or two? If you have any additional questions, please reach out to your classroom teacher. Thank you for watching as we learned about text structure. You did a great job. Remember to keep watching other videos like this one so we can all keep learning together. You can watch lessons daily on STPPS TV or on our website at stpsb.org. See you again soon.